the most important things that you can do as a real estate agent. And so I have a full presentation that I'm going to take you through, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to be talking about here. But just know that your brand is everything. So let's talk about what branding actually is before we get into it. So there's a lot of definitions for branding out there, and many people will say that branding means this and that, but most people surprisingly think branding is just marketing. But these are three really good definitions that I found to be some good ones that I want to go over right quick. So branding is the art of aligning what you want people to think about your company with what people actually do think about your company. Okay, so that's one. Next, a brand is the essence of one's own unique story. This is as true for personal branding as it is for business branding. And then lastly, branding is more than a name and symbol. A brand is created and influenced by people, visuals, culture, style, perception, words, messages, PR, opinions, news media, and especially social media. So those are some really good definitions for what branding actually is. And the reason why I wanted to point out those three is because there are three kind of different ones that give you a different perspective of things. So if we go for the last one, you know, this is what people really think of branding as. They think of it as the logos and the symbols and the visuals and all that type of stuff, which is a part of branding, but that's not everything. The second one is something that a lot of people forget. So they forget the story behind the brand and the story behind whatever you're putting out there. And then the first one, this is where a lot of agents mess up, because a lot of agents don't align themselves with the actual people. You know, they don't take into consideration what people may think. They just do what the next person did and think that it's going to work for them when it can actually hurt them. And so these definitions for branding can really make a difference in the messages that you put out there and the visuals that you put out there once you actually take these definitions in. So let's start with actually some visuals. You know, it's so important when your brand is easily recognized. I'm sure everybody has seen these logos, even though some of them haven't been around forever and ever. They're all just logos and visuals that stick in our mind. We know exactly how we think, how we feel, what moments they remind us of, you know, excitement, happiness, disgust, convenience, you know, money, whatever it is. You have some distinct feelings when it comes to just seeing these four visuals, and that's what you want your real estate brand to actually do as well. So here's what we're going to cover in this lesson. So we're going to talk about the central components of a brand. We're going to, well, I'm going to try to help you identify your unique brand image, then crafting a unique selling proposition for your business. And we talked about selling propositions in another lesson, but we're going to go into it again here. I'm going to show you the path to kind of becoming an influencer in real estate, getting featured, so getting yourself out there more, seminars, podcasts, panels. I've done them all, so we're going to talk about that. And then when it comes to merchandise, as far as your branding goes. And these are all a systematic series of steps to where you're going to do one before you do the other, but you know, it's important to take all of these in. So let's start with the first steps first. Oh, you're just a realtor. That's what people tend to think when they think of a real estate agent. Oh, you're a realtor. Oh, you're a realtor. You're gonna hear people say that day in and day out, and it's so funny because, you know, people just have one kind of definition or one thought in their head when they hear the word realtor. And so your job with this branding is to shift that and to change that so that people are going to think of you as more than just a realtor, and you're going to do that through your brand message. So the first thing, like I said, that we're going to talk about is your elevator pitch. So let's start there. And these are the four components of your elevator pitch that you're going to put together and make something really awesome out of. So the number one, and this is very universal, so even if you have other businesses, you can use these. So then the name of your product. So whatever your name is, whatever your team name is, what you're going to go by in the marketplace. Then, who do you help? So, who is your target audience? Next, it's what you actually do. And then the fourth one is what problem you solve. And when you're doing this, you need to make it relative to the actual person that you're talking to. All right. So, an example of an elevator pitch. Okay, and I'm gonna break these down with you right now. So, the name of your product and service. So, mine's is Founders Real Estate Group. That's my real estate team name. Okay, my next one, who you help? Who's your target audience? We help mostly millennials or small business owners, young entrepreneurs. Okay, what do? We help them with the acquisition of properties, whether to buy for investment purposes or for personal use. And then what problem do you solve? Okay, and make it relative to the person. We found that there is a lot of chatter within the real estate community, and everybody is going after the same thing or presenting the same thing without giving the real message behind why we're doing things. Millennials, we learn a different way. Young professionals, we learn a different way. Entrepreneurs learn a different way. And so therefore, it's important for us to make sure that we are putting out the relative message and the message about real estate to young entrepreneurs in the right way. What I just said right now was literally, and it's a little bit more polished because I was just going through the steps with this, but this is what I say at networking events. This is what I say to people who I just met. This is how we get the conversation going. Now, a little trick with this is that this target audience and this making it relative, you can change that for whoever you're actually talking to. Okay, so if you're not talking to a young entrepreneur or a millennial, then that's not your target audience, because we want to get everybody. So if it's an elevator pitch type of situation where you're exposing your business to someone for the first time, make it relative to them. Now, as far as your big brand message, we're going to keep it to what we want to attract. And you see agents doing this by some agents just being branded as a luxury agent or waterfront property agent or condo agent, first time buyers agent. That's their target audience, and that's the message that they're putting out there. And so your brand components, okay? Your brand components are who you are, what makes you great, what makes you look great, and what makes people think you're great, okay? All four of these are components of successful branding, all right? And so let's go ahead and break these down right quick. So, what's my story? Who am I? The question you always want to ask is my story any different from yours? Okay, and this goes back to one of the first slides that I showed y'all. Saying giving you the definition. A brand is the essence of one own's unique story. Okay, this is true for business branding and personal branding. Something that a lot of real estate agents do is they just say that they're a real estate agent. That's their story, and it doesn't really connect with anybody, because I can guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, whoever you talk to saying that you're a real estate agent knows another real estate agent, whether they're a family member, friend, whatever it is. And so you really catch people with your actual story. And so you want to ask yourself, is your story different from anyone else's, from the person that you're talking to, from the next realtor? This is something that can set you apart, and you need to identify this for your branding. All right. Next, what makes you great? A lot of realtors, they just say this first line here: I'm a hard worker. That's what makes them great. Loan officers say, oh, we can close your loan quickly, or we communicate good. Hopefully you're a hard worker. If I'm paying you thousands of dollars, those are givens. All right. And so you want to break it down. And the way that I don't just like to say that, I'm great because I'm a hard worker, or I'm great because people love me, or I'm great because I've closed 100 homes in my career. I like to give what's called social proof. Okay, social proof goes a long way. It's kind of the same phenomenon of giving testimonials. And so when you want to go and eat at a new restaurant, you know, a lot of people, they go to Yelp and they read the reviews, they read what other people are saying, or they ask their friends on Facebook, hey, I'm gonna be in Vegas this weekend. What should I do? What are the good restaurants? You know, people love social proof. So even when you're describing what makes you great, you want to use those social proof cues, which are going to be things like, my clients have really enjoyed, or people tell me that I am ... or one thing I constantly hear is whatever, and the biggest reason I'm still doing this is such and such. Those are social proofs. When you frame whatever makes you great, when you frame yourself and your business through the eyes of someone else, even if you're the one talking about it, people see it in a different way. This is how you shift someone's mind from thinking, oh, they're just cocky, to, oh, other people have said that about you. Oh, well, I want to check that out, or maybe I want to read what they've said, or, you know, it just does a mind shift. And so use social proof whenever you're talking about what makes you great. Now, let's go over into your brand image, all right? Brand image is important, and we all know this. Brand image is the things that people see. This is what people think about when they think of branding. They think of you know, your logo or your postcard or whatever. So breaking down brand image, we have a few different areas here. So colors. Choose your colors that you want to be known for. Now, colors make people feel a certain type of way. And so you want to choose colors that are going to really work for you, or you're going to be known by these actual brand colors. Choose your logos. Get a professional logo made. Choose a slogan, of course, and you need headshots, you need photos, you need marketing pieces. You all know this. But all these components put together are going to be your brand image. And you're going to use these things across all mediums. Unfortunately, say like I get on Facebook and I go to a realtor's page, this is the brand image that I see. They just put a picture of a home on there. I don't know if that's your home. I don't know if you're an architect. I don't know if you're a gardener and you've just planted these trees in front of this home. It tells me nothing. It tells me nothing. It doesn't even tell me that you sell these homes. You know, this doesn't even look like the average home that someone lives in. So this is not a brand image. If we shift gears to some actual brand image, and these are some of my friends here, and some of these I've actually designed for them, but these are brand images. You see, searching for a home. It has her name, her pictures. You see her here with her dog. What does that do? That automatically gets people who love dogs. And you get a different feel, you get a different vibe from each of these brand images. Even just a Facebook header, those are your brand image. Something that I did early in my career, I knew that I wanted my brand image to be my name, and so instead of just typing my name regularly, like if I was just to add a little text box here and type in Jason J. Miles, you know, that's fine, but it's not memorable. I mean, someone can read that, but when I translate it to this and I make it more of like a logo, then it gives whoever is looking at this like, oh, wait a minute, I want to check out that guy, like whoever has their name like this. And then it becomes recognized. And now if I go back 2 slides or 3 slides, you can see that I'm even able to condense that CJ and that M into a little emblem. And so those are things that I've been able to do with my brand. I started a little group back in the day and called it Central Dallas Living, you know, and this was the brand for it. This was when we were choosing just to focus like on stuff just in the city, so lots of high rises and condos. Central Dallas Living, the brand colors, this light blue, the dark blue, and then red, like that was our colors. So, you know, but it was an actual brand in itself. It was a brand image. Now, with your brand image, you have to have an identity. And so you have to create a brand identity packet or your brand standards packet. That's going to answer what colors you're going to use, what fonts will you use, what logos will you use, what headshots, all of those things. What areas are you going to market on? You have to know that, and the only way you can know that is if you are putting together a identity packet. That's what's going to help your brand stay consistent. And you can actually take a look at my identity packet in the supplements, and I mean, you can copy it and just switch it with your own colors and images and all that type of stuff. But this is going to help you to where if you're getting some postcards created, if you're getting some t-shirts made, some merchandise, whatever it is, you can just hand this identity packet over to the designer, and they can get it done for you to your standards by what's in here. Okay? Now, going over to your unique selling proposition. Okay, this is something else that's going to connect with people. I posted this image on social media a couple years ago, and it literally went dang near viral. 9 things you may not know about me, pretty much. And let me see if I can zoom in here to kind of show you some of those things on there, or maybe if I can just make it larger. So because I feel like this is really important, because this is one of those things that helps people connect with you. So number one, I can never pass up eating a dessert even when I'm on a diet. I have 2 brothers, and all of our names start with CH. My dog's name is Prince Michael Jackson. I love I collect kitchen gadgets. I never watch scary movies. Those are things that connect you with people. When people see things like this, they say, oh, you're not just a realtor with the fancy headshot, but you're actually a person, and I want to work with you because I love dogs and I love Michael Jackson too. So, it puts you in a different place. But unfortunately, a lot of agents, they don't do that. A lot of realtors, they don't make themselves normal. They're just cool with their cool headshots. Okay? So craft your unique selling proposition and make it visual so people can see. Instead of just putting together a blog post or a document, make it visual. Something that's going to catch people's eyes, something that you can pass around, something that you can put on an email attachment, So, getting into becoming an influencer. And I know when people think of influencer nowadays, you think of like Instagram models or just YouTubers or whatever, but you can be an influencer in anything. You could be an influencer in kitchen gadgets. You can be an influencer in timeshares, in hotels, whatever. It doesn't really matter. For purposes of this, we are talking about real estate, but you should become an influencer, because that's what's going to help your brand go a lot further than just your marketing pieces. Okay? So the steps to becoming an influencer is you want to choose one network to start with. By network, I mean social media network, of course. So there's a lot of them out there: YouTube, Snapchat, Medium, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So many of them are out there, but just choose one to start with. If you're not really big into video, I wouldn't expect to see you on YouTube. I know how to do videos, so I do have YouTube videos, but choose a network to start with. Then from there, you want to build a theme around your actual content. So on my YouTube channel, I chose for my theme to be for other agents, giving back to the community, helping people out. Okay, build a theme around your content. If you're going to choose your content to be luxury properties, just make it about luxury properties. You're not going to talk about first-time home buyers. You're not going to talk about down payment assistance. You're not going to talk about, a lot of things. Your theme with your content is going to be centered around luxury. Okay, the ins and outs of luxury, and that's what you want to do, because you have to really niche your actual content. Now, when you're taking this influencer route, you need to get on a consistent schedule. So choose when you're going to put content out there. Even if it's just through your email list. Is it going to be daily? Is it going to be weekly? Once a month? You know, how many times a week are you going to make phone calls? How many times a month are you going to mail out postcards? You know, get on a consistent schedule. Especially if you're blogging or making videos, you have to be on a consistent schedule. And then you want to focus on quality over quantity. Now, with quality, I'm not necessarily meaning you know, going out there and buying expensive cameras or anything like that. I mean the quality of your actual content. The quality of your content has to be good to where people actually want to come back. They want to reach out to you. They want to talk to you. They want to find out more. They want to ask you questions because your quality is so good. It's not going to help you to put out 100 crap videos if they're not 100 videos of quality, okay, with quality content. And when you start getting that engagement, it's important to engage with your audience. So answering people back, providing them with tools and tips that they're needing. If you're putting out stuff about luxury properties and people are asking you questions about luxury properties, answer them and engage with them. Unfortunately, I see a lot of people, and not just realtors, but even like influencers, they just look for the likes. I just want the likes and the shares and the comments. I just want all of that. But they don't engage with the people who are leaving them that. And so it's important for you to continue to grow your audience and not just act like a celebrity when you remember you're just a realtor, like we discussed in the beginning. And you can do that very easily through engagement. Now, when you start to engage with people, start to cross-promote and collaborate. So it's not just about you. It's not just about you. Other people have businesses that they're trying to grow as well. If you're selling someone $1 million home, there's a likely chance that they have some type of business or some type of message that they want to get out there, or somebody who you may know that they want to meet, or there's some type of way you can help them. So when you cross promote and collaborate, that helps you, but it also helps that person, and it helps them to where they want to spread your message because they are a part of it. They're going to introduce you to a new audience, you're going to introduce them to a new audience, and it starts to grow from there. Okay? Now, it's important when you do start to get on your whole influencer route, it's important for you to get yourself out there and become featured. So get yourself in magazines, get yourself around the people who can introduce you to other people. Get yourself in publications. It doesn't hurt, and it gives you credibility. But if you want to be in the public eye as a realtor and you want people to know your name and know your brand and know your message, you have to put yourself out there. Putting yourself out there is the only way that it can happen. You can't just simply get your real estate license and just hope that it's going to happen, because nobody really cares about you. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be in a lot of pictures. You have to be in a lot of videos. You have to go to a lot of events. You can't just be behind a computer, because that's not putting yourself out there, and that's not putting you in the public eye. And if you choose to take that route, that's where you're able to go in listing appointments or have meetings with people, and they already really know you. They already really know what you're about, and so they don't really put you through all of that same crap, because they've heard your name a time or two, or they've seen your face because you've done a good job of putting yourself out there. Okay. Now, a couple things that you can do to put yourself out there and to really make your brand explode is podcasting. So I started a podcast. This was super easy. It didn't take a long time, but here's an example of some cross promotion here. So this guy, Carl Dean, he's a major investor here in the area, and I did a podcast episode where I simply talked about becoming a real estate investor, and more specifically with wholesaling. Okay, so what was cool about this was, since he was featured on my podcast, he was promoting it, and then I was promoting my podcast, and I was promoting him, and I was able to get in new audiences just through the cross promotion of having someone featured. And I wasn't talking about me on this podcast, it was about him and wholesaling. Okay, doing speaking events and panels and webinars. So if you see this image, it's it was the top top realtors in Dallas panel or something. It was me and two other brokers. We were on that. This was a speaking event that I did to a group of African American gentlemen, and just talking about the future of home ownership and how we can really strengthen our communities with owning homes and investing, and then also doing webinars with other agents across the country. This is exposure to different networks. Okay, you can't grab everybody yourself, and so when you're doing these events and panels and webinars, it just really puts you out there more, and it gives you credibility. Okay, now lastly, before we wrap up, I know that I said that I wanted to make sure that y'all got merchandise too. So some merchandise that I use in my business, and you'll notice some of these in the supplement. So this was a property blast, pre-listing packet. This was seller's guide, a buyer's guide, doing books. All of these marketing materials, merchandise, they're all a part of my brand. They're all a part of my brand, keeping my logos consistent. It's Chasing J Miles. It's Chasing J Miles. My face, even my smile, y'all, is a part of my brand. I started out smiling in my real estate images, and when people start to see you smiling, when you frown, they just really notice. And so for now on, if you ever see me, you're gonna see me smiling, because that's how I started, and that's what I'm running with. Okay. So when you do all of this, this is what's going to happen to you. Like here, let me go to my next slide. This is what's going to happen to you. You're going to become an authority in your industry. You're going to receive more qualified referrals, because people are going to know that you're serious. People are going to know what your message is. They're not going to send you a referral of someone looking for a down payment assistance program if you're not putting that message out there. So you're going to get more qualified referrals. Okay. You're going to have a heightened sense of self-worth and confidence. I'm telling you, when you go into a listing appointment and you know that you have your stuff together, you're going to have a heightened sense of self-worth and confidence. You're going to earn more money, and you're going to serve more people, because you're putting yourself out there on a wider platform. Okay? And with this, you're going to create a legacy. You're going to create something to where multiple people can eat off of, and that's going to be around even after you're gone, because it's a true brand. It's a true brand and a business built around that brand. A lot of the major brands that I brought up earlier, you don't necessarily know who the people are behind this unless there was a movie made behind it, but you know the brand. Okay, and the brand makes you know the product. The brand makes you know the level of service. The brand gives you everything else about it without knowing who the actual person is. So there is a legacy that was created, and that's what I want for you.